My name is Fred Sievert. I'm the retired former president of the New York Life Insurance Company, a Fortune 100 corporation. As a high-ranking executive in the company, I was pretty far removed from the end customer, interacting much more frequently with agents and employees than with customers. But one day a special case was brought to my attention that not only changed the lives of a family recently insured by New York Life, but it forever changed my life as well. Perhaps this story will encourage you to make the right decisions in your life at pivotal times as this one, when I had to make a judgment call that ultimately saved the family from financial ruin. I was attending a large insurance convention in Chicago at which a presentation was made by David Woods, the CEO of an insurance industry association, that publicized the importance of life insurance in protecting the financial future of families who lose the primary income earner through death. David showed a very moving, professionally produced video about a young family with two small children who had lost their father in an automobile accident. He had been killed only 2 days after purchasing a life insurance policy. The young widow talked about her husband, and the children spoke emotionally about their dad. The widow said that her husband's life insurance had saved them from financial ruin, allowing them to maintain their home and lifestyle, and even to provide for the kids' future education. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, especially among the insurance agents in attendance, who often faced rejection from potential customers who object to, quote, wasting money on life insurance. But the tears that day were streaming down my face for a very different reason. Very private reason. You see, I knew the rest of the story. In an audience of 7,000 agents representing more than 200 insurance companies, I knew God was speaking directly to me. As I watched that video, the family's situation sounded strangely familiar. But it wasn't until the family's agent was interviewed at the end of the video that I made the connection. This was a case that had come across my desk at New York Life several months earlier. Case for which I had to make a tough decision on the payment of the death claim. As president of the company, I rarely had to make decisions on death claims. Executives at a lower level in the corporate hierarchy almost always handled those decisions. But this one had come to me with a note from the legal department. The lawyers correctly indicated that technically we were not obligated to pay the death claim because the insurance application had not been submitted with an initial premium payment. That meant that on the date of the father's sudden death, his life insurance coverage was not technically in effect and enforceable. Our company lawyers therefore recommended I deny the claim. They felt if I paid the claim, I would potentially set a legal precedent that was beyond our technical contractual liability. However, there was one extenuating circumstance. The father who lost his life in that car accident had actually written and signed a check in the amount of the premium payable to New York Life. The check was sitting on the father's desk at home the day he was killed. When I reviewed the situation, I thought about the financial loss to the company if we were to pay that claim. I also thought briefly about the precedent I might be setting by approving it. I knew other agents could potentially demand the same treatment, even when similar extenuating circumstances might not exist. Nonetheless, given the evidence, I decided that the right thing to do was to pay the claim. I signed the claim approved and went on with my work as always. I didn't think about the situation again. That is, until Chicago, when the video presentation suddenly made this long-forgotten experience very personal and emotional for me. I nearly fell to my knees when I suddenly realized that this could not be a coincidence. In an audience of 7,000, the story played out on the video screen that represented one claim submitted by one family and had hinged on a decision at one company by one executive. And that executive was me. I was the only one in that huge audience who knew the rest of the story. Here's the miracle. At the time of that Chicago meeting, I was questioning the value of what I did for a living. I frequently bemoaned the sacrifices I was making in my own family life to take on such a huge vocational responsibility. As the video ended, it was suddenly crystal clear to me. God had chosen this venue, this story, to reassure me. God was making me aware of the importance of what I did for a living. Just as importantly, God was emphasizing the importance of integrity, of doing what was right instead of relying on legal loopholes and technicalities. This experience, with its resulting epiphany, changed me forever. It not only changed the way I conducted business, but also how I lived my life. Have you had times in your life when you struggled with tough decisions or questioned your purpose? Reach out to God for guidance and take comfort in knowing, as the psalmist wrote in a prayer to his and to our Creator, even before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely. If your answers to prayer and messages from God are like mine, you probably won't hear an audible voice from God, so you need to be tuned in for his nonverbal communications. Watch for those highly improbable but well-timed experiences that prove to be providential and not simply coincidental. It just may be his hand leading you and holding you fast. For more on this story and for other inspirational stories, or to get more information on my book, God Revealed, you are welcome to visit the website www.godrevealed.com.